Tekken Bowling League is a non-profit, non-professional league created for entertainment purposes only. The events or storylines that occur in these videos are fan fiction and are in no way canon to the actual Tekken franchise. Hello everyone, you saw it. We have the Stooges versus Showdown. This should be a good one. I hope you guys enjoy today. This is the last one of the first round of teams. So after this, we will be getting into the semi-finals. So today, it looks like we got Paul taking on King. So this should be an interesting matchup. They're both powerhouses, but Paul is going to start off with a 30-mile-an-hour ball, which I'm pretty sure he could get a lot more on it than that, but that's what he's going to start with, and gets all but one pin. And he will pick up the spare as well. So a great start for Mr. Paul Phoenix.
Player 2.
And now King will step up to the plate, roll his first ball, kind of similar to Paul's. Only got 25 mile an hour on his and missed the 5-pin. That is a common theme amongst bowlers this season so far, is that 5-pin. Can he pick it up though? Puts a lot of power on that one and does indeed get the spare. So now we are back to Paul Phoenix in the second frame. So far we're tied at 9 with a spare. And that one kind of curves on him at the end there, so he's going to miss half the pins. It's not going to be... It's not the hardest spare to pick up, but he's going to have to hit the pocket on the left side. And he's actually going to just miss every single one of them. That is the thing you definitely don't want to happen. It looked like it did the same thing as the last ball, kind of just curved to the right near the end, right when it was about to hit the pins. I don't know if he was trying to just clip the head pin. And King will actually go down the lane. Very shocking here because, you know, he has shoes that you would think would be able to grip the floor better, but no, he just goes down the lane. Unless he was trying to do a wrestling move of some sort, but he will pick up the spare, which would have been a strike had he not got a foul on the first one. So far, King is still in the lead despite the foul. And Paul will again leave one pin. It's going to be the 10.
Player 1, frame 3, second throw.
Alright, so he's going to throw it. He's going to hug the right lane and he's going to clip it and get the spare. He looks pretty pumped up right now about that.
Player 2, frame 3, first throw.
So now King again with another overcharged foul. I don't know what's happening. He might be too used to jumping off the ropes and he's trying to go down the lane with the ball. That's not what you do here. He does get that spare again though, so that's back-to-back spares following fouls. He could have already had a commanding lead had those both been strikes. But the foul is, it's going to cost him. You know, he's letting Paul stay in this match, who has that open frame already. And Paul, again, leaving one pin. This time it's the 8-pin.
Player 1, frame 4.
Can he get the spare? He's thinking about it. He's repositioning. Lets it go. Down the lane. Looks good. Is good. Spare. Gives a thumbs up, and he'll walk back to the bench.
Player 2.
Now King again. Now this is interesting because King wants to use the prize money. Oh wow, that almost flipped onto the pins. It flipped up in there. It looked like it was gonna belly flop right on top of them too, but it just missed. But yeah, King wants to use the prize money to, I believe, help out an orphanage. Wants to make sure they're that young kids can find a good home, they're fed well, they live good. all that stuff. So he has a really good cause for wanting to be in this tournament. So he's going to be giving it his all. Being an orphan himself, he really, he knows what that life is like, and he wants to lend some money to an orphanage to make sure other kids can live a good life like he has done. And now Paul Phoenix will pick up another spare. It looks like we're going back and forth with a spare game here. Other than Paul's one open frame, both players have gotten a spare every single time. And King again, and do we see our first strike? No. The 10 pin stands strong. Will we see another spare?
Second throw.
Lets it rip. Gets the clip. That's another one. We have seen a spare in every single frame this game, except for one.
Player 1, frame 6, first throw.
Now Paul, trying to decide where he wants to stand, lets it loose right down the middle, and again robbed by one pin. He just can't seem to find a spot to get every pin. He keeps hitting 9. You can even see 9, 9, 9, 9 up at the scoreboard there, and this time he will not get the spare. He will miss it to the right, and is that going to be the game changer here? This allows King to really take a commanding lead if he can do something with this ball, and he just misses. He leaves 3. 1, 4, and 6.
Second throw.
Now this isn't the hardest spare pickup, but nothing's guaranteed, and he will be able to get them as that one pin kind of crowbarred the other one. He's gonna walk off excited, knowing he just took a lead. And now Paul is gonna rip one down the gut, misses the 5. It actually curved ever so slightly to the left at the end and just kind of avoided the 5 altogether. But he has had a streak of 9 pins for 5 frames in a row now. And this one he does pick up. So he's back on the spare train. But, I mean, if he's going to take over King, either King has to slip up or he's going to have to start getting strikes. So we'll see what happens here. But right now, King has a pretty good lead, and now King is going to get the first strike of the game and put himself even farther ahead. So he's starting to really stack up the pressure against Mr. Phoenix.
Frame 8, first throw.
Now Paul will throw, and he finally... No, it's still 9 pins. The curse continues, the 9-pin curse. It has happened for 6 straight frames. He gets the spare again, but this is tough. Like, he's hitting where he wants. I don't know if he's just not putting enough power. Maybe he has to spin it a little more. You see him kind of moving around to find the spot, but it's just not working for him. And then King goes out and hits another strike. That might have just sealed it, barring some sort of massive slip-up. I think King just might have iced this one away.
Frame 9, first throw.
So now Paul, can he break the spare streak? He finally gets his strike, sends a pin flying into the stands. And oddly, he gets it by going right up the middle. So that's kind of a strange way. Usually you get a split when you do that, but in his case, I guess that's what finally worked. And now King will do the exact same ball, but a little bit slower, and it doesn't have the power to knock them all down. So 2 pins will stay standing. Following his double strike, can he get a spare? He does. So we are entering the 10th and final frame. Paul has a 123. He is going to bowl this one right up the middle like he did last time, but not as much power, and it did not work the same. 2 pins are still standing. He has to put that power on it. He's going to reposition, let it loose, and oh, it curved on him. No. He didn't get the spare. He won't get the extra ball. I think King has just sealed this one away. King's a 142 sitting on a spare. Depending what happens here, I think he's pretty much got it. And that seals it. So King, for Team Showdown, will win the first round. Paul Phoenix couldn't quite get it done, so we will see Martial Law for Team Stooges, or for the Stooges, because he's their captain. He has to play next. I'm not sure who the Team Showdown is going to want to bring out. They may try something that, like Stealth did last episode, and pull out their captain, or they may we may get to see Craig Marduk, and King will overcharge on his final frame, but none of that matters as he wins with a score of 179 to 151. We'll see who plays, but until then, we'll be right back with a commercial break.
You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
So here we are back. As I said before, Martial Law has to play. He is the captain. His team lost. He has to play. Armor King, though, did not have to play. He is choosing to. He wants to just wipe them out and be done with this. Can they be the first team to win 2 straight? We're about to see. Law is pretty good from what I hear, but I also hear Armor King is kind of the dark horse. He may be the absolute best in this entire tournament, so we shall see what happens as Martial Law starts off leaving 3 pins out there. Not a great start, but if he could pick up the spare, it's going to be okay. He's thinking, kind of contemplating life a little bit, I guess. And he will clip the head pin, which will domino the others, so he does get a spare to open up his game. So out comes Armor King now, and I'm curious to see how this is going to play out, because he's supposed to be really good, and he just rips one right up the gut with a strike to start. The rumors look to be true so far. 46, almost 47 mile an hour ball. Oh, he is pumped. He wants to lock this one away. Let's see if Martial Law can counter that strike with one of his own. Lets it go. Ah, he's got the Paul Phoenix curse. Wait a minute, it fell late. It fell late. A pin rolled into it. It didn't even catch it in the replay, but the officials say it's good. It did roll into the other pin, which knocked it down late. So Martial Law will get a strike as Armor King will go down the lane. I'm not sure how that metal didn't just tear up the entire lane, but I guess it's good to go. He's going to use his second ball now and pick up a spare. So kind of he's having the King effect. You know, he overcharges on the first one and then picks up the spare to follow. Hey, a spare is a spare. And now can Law follow up his strike? It looks good, looks promising. It is good. Martial Law with a double will take a lead over Armor King now.
Double.
He's gonna do some karate moves out there.
Frame 3, first throw.
Armor King will let this one go. Gets away from him a little bit. He will leave 2 pins standing. The 1 and the 3.
Player 2, frame 3.
As we are in frame 3, his second ball, right up the middle, clips the head pin, destroys the pin behind it. Nice pickup.
Player 1, frame 4.
And now Martial Law will reposition, let it go. A very slow ball, only 21 miles an hour. Kind of just went right through the center there. Nice and slow. That left him a bad split. This one's going to be really hard to pick up. It looks like he's aiming for the 3 on the right, which is the good choice. One's going to have to kick over. Didn't quite hit it right. Nothing kicked. So he will get a 9-pin frame.
Frame 4, first throw.
And now Armor King's turn. Right up the middle. Misses the 5. I see a lot of similarities in Armor King and King's bowling style. I think Armor King is a bit more aggressive. But their technique and everything looks very similar, as they probably learned how to do this together. He's going to get the spare and walk back to the bench. So now Law will let his go, and a nice curve at the end. He will get another strike. So far he has 3 on the night.
Player 2.
He has 3 strikes to Armor King's 1, but it's still a really close matchup. And Armor King will go down the lane again. Maybe the metal is too heavy and he's kind of just falling over when he puts the ball too far in front of him. I don't have an explanation for why these things happen, but they're happening. And again, the King effect gets the spare after the foul. As he's going to taunt Martial Law a little bit there. And I'm not sure why, because Law still kind of has a lead. And oh my, he actually did what Kazumi did a while back in the other matchup with the pin flipping behind the corner pin, but this time it did not budge. Remember on hers, the wind from the pin behind it kind of made it fall. This case, it did not happen. He will get the spare though. So let's see if Armor King can start making a comeback now though. He's got the power, rips it through the middle. I don't know how those missed. They just flew perfectly around that corner pin. And you would think one of them would have clipped it, but no, they perfectly went on each side of that pin. And then he's going to miss it. That is not what you want here at this stage of the game. And you could see the frustration on his face. He knows he wants that one back. That one's going to hurt. We may be seeing a 3rd game at this rate. And Law... Oh no, that is not... Law is having some inconsistencies out there, and that's not what you want to do when you have a chance to kind of lock the lead away. It looks like he might have the spare. No, there wasn't enough power. It couldn't dig through the first pin with enough speed, so it kind of banked off it and avoided the 5. And now he left an open frame. And Armor King is going to capitalize on the open with a strike. He is coming back with a vengeance. He did not like how that last frame went. And oh, you could see it. He's getting pumped now. The energy is flowing. Law is going to have to play better. Another slow ball that got away from him as well. He's going to leave 4 pins. I'm not sure if he's just afraid to put too much power on it. Because you don't. Sometimes when you do that, your fingers get stuck in the ball and you end up going down the lane with it. He's going to try a Yoshimitsu approach here though, and try to just roll down the side of the picket fence, but that's not the way to do it, and he will miss 2 pins. So we are back to Armor King now. He's going to rip one down the middle. Another strike. No, another 9. It does not fall. So we've seen that all day so far. Just 1 pin, refusing to go down on what looks like would-be strikes. And another miss. It was going straight and then just veered off at the last second. And he is getting so frustrated at himself right now. We are all tied at 123 going into the 9th frame. Martial Law here with a chance to do something special. And again, leaves a picket fence. That is 2 in a row. You can't be doing that at this stage of the game. He's going to have to pick this one up. He's going to scoot over. He's going to try a different approach. He's going to hit the corner. It's going to domino, and he will get it. That is a spare. So good spare. Kind of putting the pressure on Armor King there.
First throw.
He will scoot over to the middle, rip one down the center. Oh, he just plastered a pin to the wall, but left himself a split. These are not easy to pick up. You have to hit that head pin just right, or the front pin, I should say, just right to make it kick. And he does just that. So he will get what is normally a really difficult spare, but he was able to do it to keep himself alive. So we are still tied up heading into the 10th frame. And Law, with another slow and steady 25-mile-an-hour ball, will leave himself a split. This could be bad. He might have just left the door open. He's going to have to pick this up. He clip the bank shot, and it gets it. He uses the backboard to bank it off, which, you know, in Tekken bowling, we have that backboard just to add a little spice to the game, and that's what happens. The backboard kind of banks the pin sometimes. Saved his spare, and he will finish the night with a strike. Absolutely putting the pressure on. Armor King has to get a spare strike, and we will see our first tie. Or he can get strikes and win. Let's see what he does here. Rears it back, lets it go, rips it up the gut. He gets a strike. Now, if he gets a spare here, I believe it should win. I don't know if it'll tie, but that definitely puts him in position to take the lead. He has a chance right here to lock this away. Rips it up the gut again. Another strike, sends a pin out into the stands. I'm not going to get that. I don't know who is. That's a double. He has sealed the game. And so, Team Showdown is the first one to win 2 straight. So we will not see Steve Fox. We will not see Steve Marduk. There is no purpose for them to bowl because it's 2-0. No matter, even if Steve were to win, they can't win the total match. So it is game over. Team Showdown will advance to take on Team Stealth. Let's get a look at the bracket here. Showdown just beat Stooges. They will have to face Team Stealth now. Let's get the bigger picture. Here's the whole thing. Iron Fist will take on Team Playtime next time we see these guys take the field. Then Team Stealth will take on Showdown in the episode following that. And then after that, we will have our championship. I'm excited. I hope you guys are as well. See you next time.